Good morning to all dignitaries and fellow students. I, Shivam Mishra, accompanied by Pranjal Nigam from Narsi Munji Institute of Management Studies, Shirpur. We welcome you all to the fourth Fireside Chat session, NMIMS Students Meet Alumni, Campus to Corporate. Saturday 10 a.m. lecture series at NMIMS Shirpur is an initiative by our director, Sir Dr. Akshay Malhotra. We received an overwhelming response and a wonderful feedback from our previous session. And so we are back with two very special guests today, Mr. Chinmaya Vyas and Dr. Aditya Dandwate. Both of our guest speakers have graduated from Narsi Munji Institute of Management Studies, Shirpur, in the batch of 2017. Mr. Chinmaya Vyas is currently a solutions engineer at SES Satellites in the Hague city in the Netherlands. He has also completed his MS from Delft University of Technology in Netherlands. We also have with us Mr. Aditya Dandwate. He has also completed his MSc in Sustainable Energy Development from the University of Twente in the Netherlands.
So before proceeding, I would like to inform you all that you can ask your queries regarding the chat window, and you guys can also join the session via YouTube Live. Yes, go on, Shivam.
So starting off with, sir, how was your experience at NMIMS Shirpur?
Go ahead, Aditya.
First of all, thank you for inviting us for today's event. And we are delighted to share our experience with you guys. And thank you for the audience members for joining us for this session. Good morning to everyone. I'll start with my brief introduction. I did my bachelor's in mechanical engineering from NMIMS Shirpur. I'm a pass out of 2017 batch. After that, I did my master's in sustainable energy technology from the University of Twente in the Netherlands. During my master's, I was a member of the International Affairs Office in the University of Twente. I was a mentor there, and I supported and helped students with their application procedure as well. So quite relevant for today's session. About my experience in NMIMS, I feel that it was my building years, because after passing my 12th, it was necessary for me to develop my overall personality. So besides academics, it was really great experience in NMIMS. I made a great bunch of friends whom I enjoyed doing non-academic activities as well. So playing sports, organizing fests and participating in them. So it was a really good experience there.
So thank you, Aditya. And hi everyone. Good morning here from The Hague. It's almost 2 degrees here. It's quite cold. And it's 6:30 a.m. here also. Myself, I'm Chinmaya Vyas, and I hail from Kota, Rajasthan, and that city is known to every engineer, I guess, because of the coaching institutions. And I did my bachelor's in electronics and telecommunications. I was a part of 2013 to 2017 batch. And then I did my master's in electrical engineering, specializing in telecommunications and sensing systems from Technical University of Delft in the Netherlands. I was a student like you guys, exactly like four years ago. And I graduated in 2017 from NMIMS Shirpur. And right now I am currently a solutions engineer in a satellite operator company called SES, and which I'll basically explain what I do. I am a solutions engineer, and I design solutions, to provide internet connectivity to cruise ships and commercial ships. Yeah, my experience at NM Shirpur was really great. I was a part of, besides academics, of course, I was a part of a lot of societies, technical societies, wherein I did a lot of leadership roles in them. And other than that, I was a student council member, a class representative, and I did a lot of things in NM Shirpur that really shaped me and that really made me the person who I am currently. And, besides all of these professional things, I enjoyed my time here. Like we say that, sometimes we think that, hey, this is the mess food and we don't like it. But trust me, when you go out and when you have to cook it yourself, then yeah, you really understand the value and the comfort that you were getting in that campus. So, you know, enjoy it to the way you can. And yeah, I mean, trying to play any sports in Flavium, trying to support your team, even if you don't know how to play basketball, just learning how to play basketball and, just making the team. It was a really fun time at NM Shirpur. And yeah, I still miss those days. So thank you for having me here.
So like before proceeding, I would like to call upon the podium Mr. Akshay Malhotra, our director, sir, to give a few words to our fellow attendees.
Very good morning to all of you, and a very good morning to Chinmaya, especially a very good morning to Chinmaya and Aaditya. Thanks for joining us. And listening to them, talk about so fondly about their college days actually took me also little time back. Of course, I was, I don't know if you guys know that about me, I'm also an engineer. Like Chinmaya, I'm also an ENTC engineer. And guys, so I don't know how much times have changed, but some things remain the same. And at least when I first joined college, seniors used to be a great source of information. And that being said, sometimes they used to be a great source of misinformation also. But we always used to rely on seniors on how is this subject, how tough is that subject, most importantly, how is that teacher, how strict is that teacher, do you have any old assignments with you? So seniors always in campus life, they always play a very, very important role. And but that relationship does not have to stop, once that particular senior batch leaves the college. We want that relationship to continue even after those seniors leave the college, because in one way or the other, they will always remain your seniors, right? So it is in that spirit that we would like to extend a very warm welcome to Chinmaya and Aaditya back to campus in the times that we live in. This is as good as being on campus, guys. And so one thing that you guys don't know about is how this talk actually took place. So as you know, I addressed you guys 2 weeks ago. And right after my talk, Chinmay actually contacted me on LinkedIn. Right? He reached out saying that I want to find a way. Is there a way I can contribute back to NMIMS? And trust me, you feel so proud when you see a message like that, because to us faculty, us teachers, us staff, administrators, that is the best thank you that you can get. That is the best way you come to know that, hey, we must be doing something right. We don't claim that we are doing everything right, but we must be doing something right, that we have alumni like these who themselves reach out to us. How can we contribute? So we exchanged a few messages, and then Dr. Smita and her team for arranging these morning lectures, they took over. And thanks to them, we have now Chinmaya Aaditya with us here today. That being said, I would like to take this as an opportunity to address, I believe a lot of alumni will be listening to us. They have been listening to this series also. Plus, they are seeing two of their classmates on stage. So I'm sure many of them are over here with us today. Guys, please reach out to us. You can take it from me in writing. This is your college first. Before any of the faculty, staff, administrators, a campus belongs to the students. Just because you have passed out doesn't mean it's not your college anymore. It is your college first. It will always remain your college first. In the next few months, we will be rolling out, you'll see many initiatives to increase alumni engagement. We really want to involve you guys, right? That being said, during that interval, we would appreciate it, just like Chinmay has done, just like Aditya has done. Please reach out to us. We would love to hear from you. If nothing else, we want to know how you are doing out there, right? And I would just like to address our students also. So this is the 4th lecture in the series, guys, and the last one for the semester, because you guys have exams coming up pretty soon, right? I'm sure all of you are very excited about that. So this is the last lecture for this semester. You all have participated, in such large numbers and such active participation. The student-led committee for this lecture series is already being formed. You guys have volunteered for that. We'll come back much bigger, much stronger, in a much grander way next semester. But on one condition, all the events, all the lectures will have to be organized by you guys now. Till now, your faculty have taken the lead, right? You guys have compared very well, but from next semester onwards, this is your show. It is for you. So you have to take the lead. And on that note, once again, a very warm welcome to Chinmaya and Aaditya. Welcome back on campus. I'm very excited about hearing you guys speak. Just hearing you guys introduce yourself, it took me back to my campus days. हाँ, मेस का खाना याद आता है. And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, जो सबसे खराब था ना, वो याद आता है. If 360 days was good, that one meal was bad, वो वाला meal सबसे ज़्यादा याद आता है, right? Not the 360 good ones. So it's funny how life works that way, right? So I don't want to take more time. Over to you guys. Thank you.
And it's like every time we interact with you, there are surely some takeaways from it, sir. Thank you, sir. So, sir, moving on. So, sir, today in this session, more than 50% of the students are from 1st and 2nd year. So, these guys haven't been in campus due to COVID. You say, like as mentioned by the director, sir, they haven't interacted with the seniors yet. So, how should students manage their 4 to 5 years of graduation? What skills should they develop beside academics, and what are the in-demand skills that corporate world needs today?
May you go ahead first?
Yeah, it's something that I believe. I mean, first of all, it's quite unfortunate that the times that we live in, we are not able to experience the campus. It's a golden opportunity to be at the campus. Experience. You're out from your comfort zone. You're roaming around. You're at your own basically. So yeah, it's strange times that we live in, but hey, we have to make full use of it. So at the best way we can. So yeah, I mean, my advice would be like for the first 2 years, just do things that are out of your comfort zone. Just have an amount of experiences, collect an amount of do an amount of things that you can do at the campus, which are available at the campus. Just experience them all. Like for example, like what I did, I was not necessarily comfortable with talking to people that I didn't know, and interacting with people that I didn't know. It was at first quite strange to me. So what I did, I joined like different committees, and I enrolled specifically into marketing and PR teams into those committees. Now, what happened with them was I interacted with almost unfamiliar faces almost every day when I went to promote an event or to promote a committee, and then I had to convince them. So these are some really life skills that you gain when you work in these kind of committees. So it was just a small example. Do whatever you can, but just do some things that are out of your definite comfort zone. So that'll increase your the experience that you'll gain throughout of them, and that is going to reflect in the end in your personality. So that's one positive aspect that you can take forward. Now, when you are in your 3rd and 4th year, or like in the end years of your educational journey at NMIMS, what you could do is you would probably have a rough idea that, hey, after graduation, this is what I want to do. And let's say if I want to go for masters, or I want to take up a job, then just shape your career accordingly. Then focus on the things that you want to do after you graduate. So it's like, let's say if you want to go for masters, just start developing your profile from that matter. Now, when I say from that point, it doesn't really mean from third year. You have actually started gaining a lot of experience from your first year itself by, taking part in different events, working into different committees. So you've already gained and you've already worked on your CV. So that's the advantage of starting early and starting early at your first year, because most of the time students just, be mere participants in the event, which is not bad, but it's always good if you be in the organizing committee, just be in the front, just make yourself visible. So that has an impact on your career at the end stages. So yeah, first 2 years, do things that do a lot of things in different fields, and then in third and fourth year, just focus on things that will take you forwards and be a bit more career specific.
Yeah, I would also like to add some points and to that. I mean, you should participate in everything which is available on campus, right? So in my school, by the way, I need to mention this: me and Chinmaya are school friends as well, and in the college as well, we were together, and then in Netherlands also we ended up in the same country. So yeah, I mean, I want to say that when I was in school, I was not really inclined towards extracurriculars because of my nature. And coming to the college, I made it a point that I participate in everything I can. So I participated in dramatics and did one play. So I mean, it was really out of the blue for me, and like what it will give you is a lot of confidence, and it will shape your overall personality as well. So when you go for your when you go for your masters, or even when you apply for a job or you're working in some company, like these things will matter, because besides academics and besides your professional career, you should have something where after work you can go and you can divert your mind, and then next day come back to your main work. So these things, the college 4 years or 5 years of your college are the most important aspects or most important foundation. They'll play a foundational role in shaping your career and your life ahead. So yeah.
I just gathered one more point here. We as students, sometimes, what we do is we complain that, hey, Shirpur mein hai, and, we don't have much opportunities there. Oh, see what Mumbai guys are doing and stuff like that. Let me mention something here. Sometimes what we do is fail to realize, and we fail to do things that are actually on campus, and that's our fault. Students just complain sometimes, and they are like, we don't get these much opportunities compared to the other folks. It's not like that. We have a lot of events, and there are a lot of things that are going on in the campus. Campus is almost buzzing. Even right now, that I see that you guys are organizing such talks, and engaging into a lot of different things. So it's on a personal perspective that we should definitely take up this as a challenge and get into the things that are first in the campus, then rather than trying to get out of the campus first, because if you are a first year and second year, that's your best opportunity. So if you are the person who are feeling so, then just think about this point, that first utilize the things that are in campus, and then think about that, hey, I'm not getting enough in the campus. And I'm pretty sure that when you actually do things that are in campus, you'll be pretty satisfied.
So, sir, many of us have a common question and a worry. Sir, we all face a little bit of anxiety and nervousness before placements. So, sir, what according to you are the critical things that we should keep in our minds before placements?
Chinmay, you want to take it first?
Now you go ahead.
Okay. So placements, very important aspect of graduation, bachelor's. So, I mean, preparation is the only key, I think. I believe that. And like when you're like, if some company comes to your campus, or you're so starting, you should know about the company first, research about the company. What does the company do? What are its products? And then research about your job role, what you're going to do in that company, right? And then prepare accordingly. So suppose, say, for if I take my example, I got placed in I had my interview with the company's, suppose, X company. So for that, you need to have, first was giving an exam, entrance exam. So prepare well for that. Know if there are personal interviews and group discussions as well. So you can organize small groups of your batchmates and practice uh, on topics. So these are some basic things which look basic, but if you prepare well, you will feel more confident when you're facing the interviewer. So yeah, these are, Chinmay would like to contribute to this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you covered everything. I will just probably summarize it here. Yeah, I mean, just work on aptitude tests well, because they are standardized tests, and you will get that. Don't be discouraged that if you don't do well in standardized tests. Some people do, some people don't, and it really, I cannot tell you how much time you'll require to actually master them, or even to get to a level wherein you could be selected for that. So you have to really work on it, and think how much time you personally will require to do it. Secondly, you fortunately or unfortunately, you need to have good communication skills, because when this is one of the most important factor that will play when you actually go into an interview. You really need to convince the interviewer. You really need to have those skills wherein you can sustain a conversation and in English. And if there are, I mean, I know there are people who are not comfortable in communicating in English, so don't be discouraged by that. For most of us, English is not our first language. We think in Hindi or any other regional language, and then we basically translate. That's what I'm currently doing right now. I'm thinking in Hindi and translating in English to you guys. So it's completely normal. That's how you do it. And yeah, just try to have a conversation with your friends. I know it's tough because sometimes we make fun of our friends if we actually have a conversation in English with them. So it's a hard task, but hey guys, if you're not comfortable, then you have to do it. And then just prepare for one subject well, because placements in India and abroad are a bit different, and interviews also, the procedure also. So they will ask you that what's the one subject that you like. Even if you talk to your seniors, that's going to be one question that is, they'll tell you that they might ask you this. So just have one subject under your belt, and that you actually know. And it's good if you know a programming language. Now this might sound as a shock to students of like mechanical engineering, of civil engineering, of even agriculture for that matter, but this is actually the need of the hour. And new technologies like cloud, artificial intelligence, machine learning, these are the next gen technologies, and fortunately and unfortunately, again, they are creeping into our world. I went to an Indian grocery store yesterday, and what happened there, I met a guy who's actually a chemical engineer here in a company, and he's basically from a farmer's background. And he was talking to me about, he's from Haryana, and he owns a lot of fields there, and he knows actually farmers there as well. So he was asking me that, hey, how can we improve the crop productivity by using Internet of Things? And because Netherlands is the leading country in food technology, so they really focus on each crop and how to increase the yield of that. So I mean, these technologies are creeping into our world. And I'm not saying that you need to be a master of it, but just having a basic knowledge about it won't hurt you. So that really shows your commitment towards things. So I would say just know what these technologies are, and if you have master or know an average level of programming in one of the different languages, preferably Python, it's going to help you.
So we talked about like placement. You mentioned the roles that we can play in a placement. But say I don't want to work as of now. I want to pursue higher studies. So why is it important to consider higher studies in a foreign country? Because I can do it in my country as well. Like, what are the merits and demerits of studying in an foreign institute?
I mean, I think most of us, let me not take it this way, most of us, but there are many students who actually go for higher studies abroad because they're not able to get admissions into really good universities in India. And that's a fact. Our system is really competitive. And sometimes I was reading that to get into IITs, it's like less than 1%. And to get into Harvard, it's 5%. So it is tough to get into good universities here. And sometimes if you have if you are from a good financial background, and even if you're not, there are a lot of ways in which you can pursue higher studies abroad. So I think this is one of the motivating factors, or not motivating, but this is one of the factors that why people go abroad. Secondly, I would say due to the independence you get when you go abroad, like you basically leave a life which you had for a good 20-22 years, whatever your age is when you are leaving the country, and then you transact to a different country. Now that's a big challenge, mind you. We say that we are going into a foreign country, okay, we are going for higher studies, but don't forget this fact that you're leaving your life here and you don't even know whether you'll return or not, because that's really a subjective question. You like it or you don't like it. So let's say if you don't return, then you basically from that point start a life from scratch in a completely different country, sometimes in a completely different culture, and in a country probably which has a language which is different than what you speak. So I mean, to me it really matters that what do you do with that opportunity. So I can't give you a definitive answer, but these are some of the points that motivate people.
Also, I would like to mention that when you go abroad for doing your master's, you get an exposure with international people. So you get to, like, for now, when you're in India, when you are in your college, so the people that you're surrounded with are very like-minded, and the basic things which you do are like similar kind of things. But when you go abroad, when you meet people from different countries, you get to know them and you get to know their culture. So it's a challenge for you to get out of your comfort zone, but I think it's a good challenge to have, because it makes you grow in your life and also in your personality. So like if you're considering for higher studies, I mean this is also a perspective that you should consider.
Sir, choosing for higher studies, sir, many of us students, sir, we look out for a proper process, sir. We try to Google out that what will be the process, sir. So can you throw some light on that, sir? What will be the whole process that goes into applying for higher studies?
Yeah, I can take that question, Chinmay. So like to begin with, first of all, you have to know your interests. And like suppose if someone is doing computer science engineering in bachelor's, so of course they will look for courses which are related to that domain. So first things first is you need to search for a university and the course. So these are simultaneous things which you need to look into. Specifically a course, because you will select a course depending on what your interests are and what you see will benefit you in the future, right? So this is the first thing. Then you give your, then you see what are the requirements for that particular course. So if you go to that website of that university and that particular course, so there are requirements that are listed down on that website. So you see all those requirements, and then based on that you can create your profile. After that you can then talking about the exams which are required. So you have GRE exam, and then you have English exam, TOEFL or IELTS. So each university has its own cutoff for these exams. So the course which you're applying to, you can see what is the cutoff score and then try to get that cutoff score in your GRE and TOEFL exams. After that, there's one more thing which is required, is a statement of purpose, which I think most of the universities require. So in SOP, you need to explain to the university or the department your story. You have to be true to your story and explain to them how this course will benefit you in your career, and also whether they judge you whether you will be able to complete that course or not based on your profile. And with the SOP, they require a CV. CV, you can, there are many websites where you can consult for how to make a CV, and different countries have different formats for your CV. So based on that, you can proceed with that. And the most important point which I need to mention here is choosing a country where you want to go. So it is totally your choice where you want to go, but how will you choose a country? It depends on how what is the scope, or what is the advancement or happening in that country in your field. Suppose Europe is predominantly good for streams such as mechanical engineering, and in that domain, especially Germany. So, and if you go to US, so it's preferably many students with a computer engineering background and electronics and related backgrounds, they prefer to go there. So this is one factor. And another factor is in choosing a country is the language environment. And if you're comfortable with learning a new language, going into a new country, for example, we are living in Netherlands. So when you work here, when you want to mingle with the local people, you need to learn some Dutch skills. So Dutch is the language which is spoken in Netherlands. So if you're open to that, if you are willing to learn a new language, then you can choose countries which include Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, etc. So this is also an important point. And one more point in choosing a country is whether the weather and food is suitable for you or not, right? So if you choose a country such as Sweden or Norway, so the temperatures there are quite low in the sense average temperatures range from 3 to 10 degrees in summers, and in winters it goes into -10, -20. So whether your body is able to adapt there, so this is also, you need to ask yourself and question whether you will be willing to live there or not. So these are some, these are some points which you need to consider. And Chinmay, would you like to add something that I missed?
You actually perfectly addressed this question. I can just summarize it to an extent, like, I can just tell you that based on the geography, I can just explain, like, the main difficulties that the students, or the stigmas that the students have. So Aditya explained the process complete, so that's how you go through it. But let's say if you want to go for US and Canada, just focus a bit more on GRE and your TOEFL scores. Reason, there are a lot of applicants, and that's their only way to screen the applicants. And sometimes, let's say if you have a similar profile, now how does the admission committee selects? Then they see their GRE cutoff, and if they have actually secured that much amount, and yeah, then they decide. So Canada, few universities in Canada and most universities in the US, they'll see your GRE score. If you want to go to the UK, English language tests and your CV and your profile really matters a lot. Same thing goes on with Australia. And in Europe, the trend is changing now. It was usually an English language test, but these days, or even in Germany, let's say if you're doing a course which is actually taught in German, then you need to know German sometimes because it's tuition free. Even in Finland, some universities offer tuition free courses. So basically you have to pay nothing. So that's quite cool if you know the language. In Europe, the trend is changing these days. They require both GRE and TOEFL because the applications are increasing right now. But specifically in Europe, universities focus a lot on your CV and your motivation letter. So what you have done, basically, they are quite interested into seeing what other experiences you have. Or let's say, like in my university, TU Delft is a research university. So when I was applying, they asked me what thesis topic that you want to do for your masters. So here I had to do like almost I devoted almost a year for my thesis. It was it was a really challenging time of my life. So they basically, when I was applying, they asked me that what is going to be, so just an abstract topic, you don't have to follow that, but they just wanted to know that if I have an idea about any topics that are relevant or not, and they just asked an abstract for it. So this is something different, because usually universities ask, why do you want to get into the university? Why do you want to get in the course? These are basically the questions. So yeah, I mean, adding to Aditya's points, this is based on the geography that you can expect the process to be. And yeah, Singapore also actually accepts GATE scores. So universities in Singapore like NUS and NTU, they accept GATE scores as well. So yeah.
So say I have completed my higher education, and like as previously mentioned by Chinmay sir, like should I return to India or stay back to work? Like what are such factors that influence the decision? Because I'm asking this because some people tend to stay back and try to settle in that country, and some are inclined to come back to India. So what are your views on that perspective?
It's to be frank, it's very difficult. I personally don't have a concrete answer to that. I can just beat the bush out here. And I mean, it really depends on personal perspective. As I said earlier, that when you go into a new country, you start your life from scratch. You basically you try to maintain contact with your friends, but sometimes it's difficult due to time difference. So yeah, you have to find new friends here. You have to start your life on your own. Whatever things that you used to do, there'll be a huge cultural shift. So it's a complete different environment that exists here. So sometimes people find it really difficult to let go. Homesickness is one of the most important things, that people do feel homesick, and that is the reason why sometimes after like 5 years or so, after earning some amount, then they return back to India. And some people stay back. People have really different views. I haven't worked in India, but people have really different views about working in India. Some people say that the culture abroad is quite nice. Let's say in the Netherlands, if I have to say that we really get the work-life balance is the most highest priority here. No one works more than 40 hours a week here. Sometimes, I mean, we do, but it's quite flexible because the system here is task based, not time based. So if you are done with your task, you are free. So let's say if I have completed my tasks for the day at 1 p.m., I'm free. And on Fridays, usually the load is quite less. So, these kind of things do matter a lot when people consider, switching countries and even the system. So yeah, I mean, if you miss family, some people miss family, and some people feel homesick. So basically, after earning a certain amount, they return back to India. Some people are able to adjust themselves well in this surrounding, so they just stay back and embrace the system and try to make most out of it. And yeah, sometimes money is a very important factor. I mean, if you obviously convert your salaries which you get abroad into INR, because of the exchange rate, that comes out to be higher. So you can actually send more money to India if you want to, in some cases. And yeah, some people quite like it. But now I mean, right now in the world that we are living in, I mean, I'm seeing quite a major shift in India as well. Salaries were not used to be at that level which they were. They are increasing at a higher rate. So I see there are a lot of students who are not students, but there are a lot of professionals who are having almost equal salaries of people who are working abroad. So that's changing. So money, the money matter could change in the coming years, and people would stop thinking about, if I don't make this much amount of money here, I should try to move abroad to make. So this might be a shift that you might see in the coming future. But yeah, I mean, these are the basic points that that influence a decision.
So like the follow up to this question as well, like sir, many degrees, like especially masters that are from foreign institutes, are not like recognized by Indian education body. Like, is it a myth or is it true? Like, I have heard this thing, so I'm asking you because you are the better one to just judge this. But is it true, or like what would you say on that? Like, some master's degrees aren't recognized like in Indian bodies.
No, I think it's only for medical fields. Like if you do your masters from Russia, or if you do your masters from Ukraine, or if you do even from, I have a lot of students going for doing their medical studies in Nepal. So I think that when they come back to India, then they need to give an exam. The entry level exam, or the exam to actually qualify to be a registered practitioner. I think that is the difference when you're but at what you're pointing out, that degrees are not recognized. But in engineering terms, no. In my personal opinion, I think that it's not the case that if we come back to India, then we have to write an exam. No, that's not the case. But in medical terms, yes, definitely.
Sir, what is your work profile nature at satellite, the satellite company, sir, that you're working? Sir, you told us that you're a solutions engineer. So what is it that actually you do? And sir, can you relate any of your learnings from NMIMS to your journey towards Netherlands?
The learnings have been huge, but I'll get to your first question. Like, what do I do? So I am a solutions engineer at a satellite company called SES. It's a European satellite company. It's one of the world's largest, not one, but yeah, it's the only largest satellite operator in the world currently. It has satellites in 2 different orbits. That's geostationary orbit and medium Earth orbit is the only company that has that. So, and we provide satellite services into different segments. Like fixed data, we provide mobile backhaul solutions. So let's say fiber is usually quite expensive, and it's expensive to lay out the infrastructure. So let's say if you have a remote island in Papua New Guinea in the Pacific, and it's quite expensive for the mobile companies to lay a fiber infrastructure there. So what we do is we provide connectivity to parts of those islands. This is one of the fixed data use cases that I'm talking about here. And then in the government sector, there are a lot of ships that sail across. There are a lot of government projects that are going on. We actually provide them internet connectivity via satellites. And then in the various business jets and in the commercial aviation department, when you fly, you need internet. So obviously you cannot have a wire, so you need satellites for that to provide you an internet connectivity there too. And almost we have a major chunk of like we connect almost 1 billion people around the world, and the TV channels that you see, they are routed from our satellites. And now coming back to the segment that I work in the maritime segment. So I design, implement solutions from a radio frequency and network engineering perspective to provide internet connectivities to cruise ships and commercial ships that sail. So we serve a big cruise lines and almost all the big commercial ships that sail across Suez Canal and through Baltics, through Mediterranean, through to the Atlantic Ocean. So there are a lot of ships that sail, and a lot of cruise lines that go. So I design solutions for them so that they can have internet connectivity on board. And yeah, my work is basically on the RF and network engineering level. So yeah, this is what I do for a living here. And yeah, as I said, I'm based in the Hague, the Netherlands. We have our headquarters in Luxembourg, and we have offices around the globe in Singapore, in Israel, in UK, in the US. So it's fairly a multinational company. Now, coming back to the point, what I learned in NMIMS, which brought me here, is a lot. It's something that at the same time I'm very proud about, and yeah, that I was a part of this institution, because this institution gave me a lot. I mean, when I was studying there, I did a lot of activities that translated me to having an admit in TU Delft, which is fairly highly ranked, and that was my motivation to actually come for a study abroad. That is, I wanted to study in a very high ranked university abroad. So yeah, I wrote quite a lot of research articles under the mentorship of Professor Shashikant Patil, and yeah, he guided me a lot. And yeah, and also like Praveen sir, he was my project mentor for final year project, and that I published in IEEE. So these are some of the highlights that I can give you, like what I did at NMIMS and on the academic level that really pushed me forward in my career. And then I came to TU Delft, and in here I did a lot in terms of academics, in terms of grilling myself on my thesis. That was a very big part of my life, because here the thesis is like an independent work that you do all alone. You have to pick a topic that has not been researched yet, and you need to come up and you need to design a solution that does not exist in the industry yet. So I worked in my thesis on optimizing the quality of experience of the users that are using different applications on a cruise ship. So let's say if a person is using Netflix or Facebook or YouTube on a cruise ship, how can I actually upgrade the performance of that user by using a product called software-defined wide area network called SD-WAN. So I designed an algorithm to shift the traffic on 2 different satellite links. So now, when I say 2 satellite links, so one satellite is 36,000 kilometers from the surface of the Earth, and then one satellite is 8,000 kilometers from the surface of the Earth. So you shift the traffic on those 2 satellites, and how do you optimize the performance? That's a big challenge. So I performed my thesis on that, and yeah, then I graduated from TU Delft, and I was doing my thesis at this very same company. I did also my internship. So I did around about 1 to 1.5 year at SES, and they liked me. And then they eventually offered me a job role here, which I'm currently doing. I was hired as a junior solutions engineer, and in November. So I was hired in 2020 January, and then I got promoted in November this year, last year, sorry. And now I am an engineer at the solutions engineering company with far more responsibilities now. So yeah, I mean, NMIMS has been a very integral part of my journey. And there are very fond memories of it, and I wouldn't have done that without the exposure, the amount of work that I did, the amount of support that I got at NMIMS. And I don't know if this is relevant, but I would really like to say that there are few things that we as students fail to realize. Like Akshay sir said just now, that seniors are your biggest supporters sometimes, and they really guide you. But I would like to add one more thing to his point, that not only seniors, but professors are also your friends there, because the people that you interact in the hostel, other than them or the staff that you interact of the whole campus, when you get into the academic building, professors are your ambassadors, and they are going to be the people who are going to help you. And sometimes we fail to recognize this fact, that we don't really go to them, or we don't really reach out to them with our problems, and we struggle with them on our own, or basically we just don't share it with them. So my idea is just start sharing your problems with your professors, because they'll definitely have solutions for them, because they are far more experienced than you are. And they will be able to guide you and support you in almost every field, because they have gone through that process, and they have guided a lot of students like you, so they have breadth of experience under their belt. So that is going to help you a lot. Like, for example, like when I was in my final year, I was really confused in which universities to choose, because I had a lot of admits at that time, and I was super confused. I had scholarships from one university in the US, and then I had all the other European universities admits, and I was heavily confused at that time. So I just went to Shashikant sir, and I was like, sir, I'm confused what to do. He gave his opinion. And then he also gave me the contact details of few of the seniors in the different parts of the world. And I actually contacted them, and I got their opinion, and be like, what do you think about the current situation in the US? What do you think about the current situation in that country, this country? And that really gave me a sample space to think and to make my decision, and to have those pros and cons list that I made. And I'm here finally. So professors are your big ambassadors, guys, and bank on them for your all problems, and for all difficulties that you have. That is your biggest asset.
So, sir, like this will be the last question for today. Like, we are running out of time. So, sir, our institute believes in continuous improvement, sir. You guys know that actually, and therefore, sir, we would like to know any constructive feedback or suggestion, if any, from you as an alumni, like what changes can we implement to make our campus better.
Aditya, you go ahead. I've been speaking a lot.
Yeah. So yeah. So one of the points which I would give suggestion on is the student, there's a gap between this is seen everywhere in India as well as some parts of the world as well, that there is some gap between the academia and the industry, right? So sometimes students don't know what they are going to do in a company after they have graduated in one of their engineering domains. So, I mean, what our college can do is again, it's just a suggestion that, they can contact companies, and then, you can arrange for work sessions, or training sessions, so that you get to know, students get to know what exactly is going on in the company and what you're going to do there. And it's equally a responsibility of the students to, if the university is conducting these kinds of events, it's the responsibility of the students to show initiative with that, and show your complete participation, because learn whatever skills you can, and they will really help you in your career. So yeah, this would be my suggestion.
And yeah, I can only add to this point that like one thing that our college can do is have a bit more industrial exposure and industrial interactions, and involving a lot of companies in the small projects the student do, getting their advices on what is needed in the industry, because that is going to make the study as well as the coursework more relevant to the industry. I know there are a lot of logistical problems with our college, and that go hand in hand with uh, the students. So not only the college, but I would say the students also need to understand the responsibilities well and act accordingly. And I don't want to highlight this fact, but yeah, students should understand their responsibilities and act in a disciplined and responsible manner, because if we do, then a college can actually offer a lot. It has a lot of potential, but it's just that we have few restrictions that you all know that exist. But yeah, that can be removed if we as students play our part well. So we really need to understand what we can do, and yeah, act accordingly. And the one thing that the college can improve is have a bit more industrial interactions, and involve more companies, so that we don't have to specifically think about let's say going into the placements, but rather students can directly start having PPOs or pre-placement offers like the other colleges in India the students have. So I think this is one thing that a college can improve on, and also our students.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So, sir, on that note, I, on behalf of my fellow students and the entire organizing committee, would like to thank you both for taking time out from your busy schedules. It was very, like, I would personally say it was the one of the best sessions that we ever conducted. So, thank you both for joining us today.
Thanks. Thanks, Pranjal, and thanks, Shivam, for hosting us. And yeah, a big thank you to Akshay sir and Smita ma'am for inviting us to this talk. I was really excited, and it feels like I'm back in my old college days. And yeah, it feels really nice to deliver a talk like this, and I'm happy that I got an opportunity like this. So thank you all. And yeah, I've dropped in my LinkedIn ID in the chat box. So if anyone wants to connect with me, and if anyone wants to ask me anything, any student, any junior, any student of first year, second year, basically if you have few questions, then yeah, please feel free to reach out to me, and yeah, we can talk.
Yeah, I would also like to thank Pranjal and Shivam for hosting such a wonderful session, and also Dr. Akshay and Smita ma'am for inviting us here. And again, like, it's a really great initiative to connect alumni with students, because these things are very, very small, but yeah, it can make a great impact on students. So sitting at home, you get to know things about around the world, and from students, from alumni. So it's a great initiative, and I wish you all luck with the further episodes.
Yeah, best of luck for the exams, guys.
Yeah, that too.
Thank you, sir. So, also, I would like to thank our director, Dr. Akshay Malhotra, sir, for constantly encouraging us to conduct such events. Lastly, I would like to thank all the members of Team Saturday 10 a.m. lecture series, faculty members and fellow attendees for being a part of this session. Thank you all. And like last thing, like previously mentioned by director sir, as this academic year is ending and you all will be busier with your examinations, so this will be the last session for the time being. We'll be taking a break and we'll be coming back with much more interesting series of events from July 2021. And we would like to receive any suggestions or feedback. We have provided the feedback from in the chat window, so like through that we can actually cover the topics of your interest in future lecture series. So best wishes for your examinations. Keep studying and take care. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.